What you was thinking when Tank did that when he took the knee? What you was thinking when he took the knee?
I can't speak on it.
Can't think on that?
Can't speak on it.
He did some bullshit though?
I can't speak on it.
You no personal opinion, nothing?
Yeah.
No, you gotta calm down and listen to me.
Hey, come on now. He's trying to get it. Come on now.
After leaked recordings surfaced of a conversation between Davis and his corner, the boxing world had no doubt that trouble was brewing. As if that weren't enough, additional audio recordings of Gervonta and the referees soon became public, ultimately serving as the final straw that broke the camel's back.
You said fight out of the clinch. Yeah. That's what we were gonna do. He came in the back and was like, I'm gonna let you fight out, especially if one arm is loose or whatever the case may be.
Sadly, the new State Athletic Commission chose to downplay his efforts and refused to take the recordings seriously. In the end, their response only fueled further controversy within the boxing world.
10-8. Simple. So I was like, all right, the ref started counting. While I'm looking at him, I'm like, the ref started counting. But I see him get up and go to the corner.
And the New York State Athletic Commission continues to review. Referee Steve Willis's controversial handling of Lamont Roach Jr.'s knockdown of GervontaDavis on Saturday night. A compelling discussion on ProBox TV examined the issue on Wednesday. If they do the right thing, Lamont Roach wins the fight, said veteran boxing writer Dan Raphael, who now runs the Fight Freaks Unite Substack. He argued that Willis's poor officiating cost Roach a championship and the chance to hand America's top fighter his first loss. A lot went wrong, and it was all against Lamont Roach. Speaking on his podcast, renowned trainer and analyst Teddy Atlas also weighed in.
Well, I'm terrible, I am, but I'm ashamed of myself. I am so cynical, but this sport has made me cynical. I'm sorry. I don't see anyone's going to make...
He suggested the ref waste good enough and could have been bribed since he would never have done this.
He suggested that the referee wasn't competent enough and may have even been bribed, as he would never have made the same decisions in Roach's favor. Bad refs. We need better refs. More educated, trained refs, whatever you want to call them. I'm not going to say honesty was the issue because I don't know, but we definitely need referees who can make the right call and have the courage to enforce it, he stated. I don't think that ref would have let Roach get away with what he allowed.
What are they going to do? I mean, it happens too often. It's happened too often. I don't know. We need a national commission.
He continued, I think he set a record for the most fans ever at Barclays Center. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I believe they hit a new attendance record, maybe even a gate record. They've hosted concerts, fights, and basketball games there, and this event did big numbers. He's a star. He brings in crowds, has a massive fan base, and consistently delivers strong pay-per-view figures. I don't know the exact numbers for this one, but he's one of those fighters who always draws a solid audience.
But the last thing I want to say to put a bow on this one, Bud, we talked about the controversial part, but I want to...
When a referee allows a fighter to take a knee, which isn't even a rule in boxing, and lets it slide without scoring at a 10-8 round when it should have been, that's a problem, he stated. He got hit with a jab just before that. I'm not trying to go after Tank Davis. People already say I defend him too much or hype him up. And he is great, a complete fighter. A puncher inside and outside, patient, defensively responsible with fast hands. He puts punches together well, works the body, can counterpunch, and set traps. He has it all. But in this case, he was wrong, and he got away with it because the sport allowed him to. The issue isn't with the fighters, it's with the sport's
That was high-level boxing. That was two guys at the highest level showing their skills.
But Teddy Atlas also added, a referee can't just ignore something that isn't in the rule book. Tank gets hit with a jab, and a second or two later he takes a knee. Guess what? I'm sorry, but that's a knockdown. If your knee touches the canvas in that moment, it's a knockdown, plain and simple. This isn't football. There are no fair catches here, you know what I mean. If it were football, as you pointed out last night, it'd be a touchback. There are rules for a reason. Even TerenceCrawford, one of the top 3 pound-for-pound fighters alongside Inoue and Usyk, reacted by saying, I didn't know that was a rule. I guess I was sleeping when they passed that one. He didn't say this, but maybe he was out doing road work or something. He must have been busy when that so-called rule was made up. I said it before, this isn't the Indianapolis 500. You can't just pull into pit row because your oil needs changing, your tires need swapping, or you need grease wiped from your eye. There's no pit stop in boxing. Tank went down on a knee, and Roach, give him credit, either respect
You counter, and then all of a sudden you're in front of him. Boom! You're the invisible man. You're on the. That's sweet science too. Yes, and it's easier to see. It grabs your attention. Oh wow! Look at that guy.
I've seen fighters land punches on opponents who are turning away or walking off, and unless the bell rings or the referee steps in, the fight doesn't stop. Roach had every right to throw a punch in that moment. He showed sportsmanship. I give him credit for that. But when Tank turned away, Roach could have landed a left hook or a straight left, given that he's a southpaw. Whatever the shot, it was his right to pursue and throw. Maybe he could have caught Tank and knocked him down while he was turning. It wouldn't have been the prettiest moment, but it would have been legal. The ones who were wrong? Tank and the referee. The ref allowed him to take a knee, go to his corner, get whatever was obstructing his vision wiped away, and then continue fighting. If the referee had scored that moment as a 10-8 round, which it technically should have,
Furnace with all the flames and everything going, and you don't get burnt up. You don't get torched. You don't get scorched.
he concluded his thoughts by saying, he bullied the bully. He really did. It's like on the schoolyard, where the bully always gets his way until one day someone stands up to him. Suddenly, the bully isn't acting the same. He's not as aggressive. My cousin had a saying that fits perfectly here. When you rely on intimidation, but the guy you're trying to intimidate doesn't back down and instead becomes the intimidator, everything flips. You're not going to hear that from...
Funny, when we was talking in like the 12th round, I think the 12th or 11th, we was talking shit, right? But he like...
Roach, a former amateur rival of Davis, deserved to be the headline story after handing Tank, a massive 2,600 betting favorite, the first blemish of his professional career in their controversial majority draw at Barclays Center. Equally deserving of scrutiny was the New York State Athletic Commission, which was anything but transparent in the aftermath. On Monday, the commission claimed a technical issue prevented it from reviewing instant replay footage within the allotted time. By failing to recognize Davis's voluntary knee in round 9 for what it was, a knockdown, Roach was robbed of a crucial 10-8-point swing that would have secured him the victory. The fallout didn't just cost him a title, it potentially...
What you talking about? He like, they ain't gonna give it to you. I was like, oh, is that right? So, you know, that's how boxing...
Speaking to regulators across the country on Wednesday, many acknowledged that New York Commission head Matthew Delaglio is in a difficult position as he attempts to address the human error that occurred. The controversy stemmed from referee Steve Willis initially starting, then stopping, his 8 count after Davis took multiple punches from Roach, dropped to a knee, and walked to his corner, where co-trainer Calvin Ford was waiting to wipe his face with a towel. Davis later claimed that a hair chemical had gotten into his eye, and he was simply seeking relief. Some believe Delaglio should retroactively deduct a point from Davis for his actions and declare Roach the new WBA lightweight champion, given that the fight ended in a majority draw. Others argue that such a decision would be unfair to Davis, a known knockout puncher, who might have fought with greater urgency in the final 3 rounds had he been aware that he was officially docked a knockdown.
Prizes everybody else. What was on your mind?
Man, I was surprised, man. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I thought it was
The ID panel, including retired California referee Jack Rice, trainer Stephen Breadman Edwards, and Pro Box TV regulars Chris Algieri and Paulie Malignaggi, unanimously agreed that Roach's bent knee met the definition of a knockdown. Pro Box TV founder Gary Jonas, who advises Roach, has since filed an official appeal with the New York State Athletic Commission, arguing that Roach should be declared the winner. The appeal cites multiple missed opportunities for referee Steve Willis to penalize Davis, including failing to call the knockdown, allowing him to turn his back and walk to his corner mid-round, and permitting his co-trainer, Calvin Ford, to step onto the ring apron and treat him.
While I'm looking at him, I'm like, the ref started counting, but I see him get up and go to the corner. So now I'm just like, all right, now I'm confused. I don't know what's going on.
Referee Jack Rice attempted to explain that officials have some discretion as the sole arbiters of a fight, allowing them to make judgment calls on how the bout proceeds. However, Paulie Malignaggi quickly pushed back, stating, "You cannot call your own timeout." Dan Rafael also reported that there was an opportunity to review the replay of the knockdown, but it never happened. This missed chance further fueled frustration.
Besides the fact that
The FAMZ New York State Athletic Commission has stated that it is still reviewing the matter, but one lingering and perplexing question remains. What exactly was going on with Davis? While it was certainly shocking to see the 30-year-old Baltimore native struggle against such a massive underdog, especially after dominating the sport for so long, that wasn't even the most surprising part. Roach, after bulking up to lightweight, appeared to be the bigger fighter in the ring. He drew confidence from his past experience growing up in the same boxing circles as Davis and delivered.
it's sad to say, you know, that's how boxing works. I'm not, like, totally upset. I figured with a superstar.
The biggest questions surrounding Davis weren't just about the fight itself, but about his mindset and the bizarre behavior he displayed before, during, and after the bout. This has led many to wonder, was this simply an off night for one of boxing's pound-for-pound best, or has Davis lost the competitive fire and killer instinct that made him such a massive box office draw? It's not unusual for star boxers to be late for media events, especially Davis, who arrived nearly 2 hours late for his 2023 kickoff press conference with Ryan Garcia. However, this time, he took tardiness to a new extreme, showing up over 4 hours late to his first scheduled event with Roach in New York, and then arriving 90 minutes late to last Friday's weigh-in. While Davis remained playful and relaxed throughout fight week, as is his usual demeanor.
You won't get too much on paper. But shit, I damn sure thought I had it. Especially when they announced the score for him. I was like, oh.
His behavior inside the ring raised alarms. Twice during the first half of the fight, he took his eyes off Roach to argue with referee Steve Willis, only to be met with clean punches in return. Interview 16. The Prime. Video cameras also captured another unusual moment, Davis repeatedly yelling over his trainer, Calvin Ford, between rounds, shouting, "Listen to me," in a commanding tone. Then came the most controversial moment of the fight, the uncalled knockdown in round 9. After Roach landed a
Decision win. I was like, oh, yeah. I said, oh, shit, here it goes. But as soon as I heard that 114, I was just like, damn, all right, it's over with.
series of jabs, Davis began aggressively blinking his left eye before turning his back to the action and taking a knee. Instead of waiting for the referee's count, he quickly got up and ran to his corner, where Ford used a towel to wipe his eyes, an action that, under the rules, could have warranted disqualification. Referee Steve Willis initially began the mandatory 8 count, but inexplicably stopped at 3, issuing only a warning to Davis before allowing the fight to continue.
So, yeah, man, it's just crazy. I ain't gonna lie. It's okay. We gonna run it back. It's okay.
Not only was Davis's post-fight explanation peculiar, but his overall demeanor seemed unusually relaxed, especially considering how close he came to losing both his title and unbeaten record. As the crowd rained down boos, his reaction suggested either embarrassment or outright disinterest. "I just got my hair done 2 days ago, and she put grease in it so it was coming into my face when I was sweating, and it burned my eyes," Davis explained. Then, reacting to the negative crowd response, he added, Damn. Why are y'all booing? Like I'm saying, these are real facts. Come on, man, look at my hair. I just got it done. But it's all cool, man. You know how they get. They love you, then they hate you. Turn around, and they'll love you again. Davis, who holds a mandatory rematch clause in his contract and expressed interest in exercising it on social media Monday, appeared more humble during the post-fight press conference. However, his comments revealed a surprising lack of situational awareness regarding the rules. Nobody likes a draw from a guy who gets knockouts and things like that, but it's cool, Davis said. I feel like if we fight again, I could do more, and I should have done more. I was lost and lost track of the rounds. That's why we need ring girls. I didn't know what round it was. Facts. I didn't want to get caught while my eyes were burning. You can get knocked out like that, so I would rather take the knee. Davis explained. But I didn't really know that you could get disqualified for receiving mid-round corner assistance. When Willis started counting, I was like, what the hell? But it's cool. During a conversation with Colin McGuigan on IFL TV, the Golden Boy highlighted referee Steve Willis's handling of the 9th round, pointing out a critical infringement by Davis. After taking a punch from Roach near the eye, Davis turned away and went down on one knee.
If you take a knee in the 90s or in 2000, you're taking the point off. That's the bottom line. You're taking the point off. I don't know what happened with the referee. Maybe he was a little starstruck. Maybe he was a little...